Hey, and welcome to Lemon Drops, brought to you by the Smoky Lemon crew. Well, we're talking branding, marketing and everything in between. So grab a coffee, sit back and let's drop in. Welcome along to our next episode of Lemon Drops. And with me today, we've got Suzanne Porter, who's the CEO of TAFT, Taranaki Arts Festival Trust. Welcome, Suzanne.
Kia ora.
Yeah, lovely to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
Rich history with TAFT. You've been CEO for 20 years.
Yeah, coming up 20 years. Yes,
it's a long time.
It is, considering I was only going to go for 3.
What happened there?
Well, there's a number of things happened, actually. I was actually going to leave Taranaki after I'd finished the Pukeariki project, because that's what brought me over here. And I always thought that would be a 3-year contract, but I brought an 11-year-old who hit 14, and you don't move teenagers because we had a tantrum meltdown. I was seconded up into council to do a couple of years' work up there, which I really enjoyed. And then the opportunity at TAFT came up, and I always thought Alexis by that time will be at university and I'll do 3 years there. But anyway, it's the sort of job that I like hen's teeth in New Zealand.
Very.
And I found something I really loved doing.
And so it's worth holding on to that.
Well, it is. Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole time. It's never dull. Yeah. There's always challenges, you know.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to get into a little bit around the festivals that you deliver, what goes into that, and things like that. So if we could start off by saying, talk about how the trust began.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting history, and we have to be thankful for the city forefathers, and they were male at that time, who actually went down, as my understanding, they were all fathers of boys, and the boys all played soccer, and somehow they all ended up in Wellington for some soccer tournament, but the Wellington International Arts Festival had just started.
Right.
Okay, so we're going back to about 1989, maybe that had started. So these 3 men sort of decided Taranaki needed one of these as well. And really the rest is history. So in 1991, it presented its first biennial arts festival. And in the archives, it's quite hilarious seeing how that was all put together. And there is a lot of fun. In fact, I unearthed another box the other day of archives I've never seen. And because I'm an ex-librarian, archives are quite important to me.
Yes.
So, so it started in 1991, and there it stayed as a biennial arts festival, and it's the second oldest arts festival in New Zealand. Very unusual for a region to be able to present an arts festival of the scope that they were presenting at that time. And though, over the years they brought in French circus acts and did stuff that was really punching well above its weight.
Well, none of us can forget Soap.
Oh, Soap was amazing. Yeah.
Baths and naked people on stage.
There's been some incredible acts over the years. But and then what happened was that the Garden Festival was actually in strife. All right. So those have been run by a series of charitable trusts, and the people were tired of trying to make it work. It was a very localised festival. It was a gold coin donation or free, so there was no money stream in there to support, a staff member or some marketing initiatives. So TAFT was approached to take over the Garden Festival, and it was very debated because our garden festivals are, and I would argue they are.
Yes, yep.
They're just art presented in a different way.
100%.
So I wasn't part of that discussion, and at the same time, WOMAD had been presented twice in Auckland, once at Western Springs, and then in the early 2000s in RTS Square, and that was the killing of it, actually. That venue was just so wrong for it.
Right, okay.
And so the rights for WOMAD New Zealand, as it was known then, came up, and this small ballsy trust down in Taranaki put their hands up for it, because the next smallest place to do a WOMAD in the world is about 1.3 million, which is Adelaide. And I think they just thought there was cowboys riding into town and we were tyre kickers or whatever. But they got the rights, and the first one was presented in 2003, and it was biennial at that point.
That's right.
Okay, so we did a biennial arts festival and a biennial WOMAD.
So did they land on alternate years?
In the first WOMAD was done off the back of the first arts festival and apparently nearly killed the staff.
Right.
Because it was a tiny, tiny team that used to disband because it was biennial and then come back together.
Right.
So the impetus to have a full-time office with a full-time CEO was when WOMAD went annual.
Right.
Okay. So it did 03, 05 and 07, and they knew post 07 they were going to go annual. So I started with the trust late 2006.
Right.
Okay. And so since then we presented WOMAD annually, except for the COVID years where we had 2 years out. And a plethora of arts festivals, and we were very fortunate during COVID that we're a small team. So we're a little we're not an ocean liner, we're a little schooner. So we're able to shift ourselves very quickly. And the Garden Festival has been presented forever. I can't remember, I think it's its 38th year, but not always under TAFT control. And believe it or not, we managed to get the Garden Festival through the COVID years because of the nature of 50 venues with less than 100 people outdoors, etc. And yes, that festival has just gone from strength to strength, really. So yeah, that's a potted history of the trust. It's had its ups and downs. It's tough work at times in the arts, particularly at the moment when you've got a cost of living crisis on, and the discretionary spend will mean you don't do entertainment. So
that's where it suffers.
Yeah. So particularly in the big music festivals, I just read a little thing the other day that said that the UK had lost 200 festivals in the last year.
200?
Yeah, they're very concerned because a number that is often the grounds where the new emerging artists come up. So there is some concern. Australia has had a number of the state government there have bailed out festivals. The state governments know that festivals are really quite critical for bringing in outside state visitation.
Yeah, and helping with that.
So they Byron Bayes is a good example. It's just had a big bailout, and they presented this year at Easter, but said that was going to be their last. Okay. But they're now back out of the starting gates again with this bailout.
Okay.
So there's a lot of that going on, and we always said get through 25 and you'll survive, but I'm thinking it's more 26, 27 now in the arts. It's tough.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's other things you've brought to town as well, or TAFT has. I remember the first year we had the Spiegel tent in town and how incredible that was. Now that's a biennial event.
Yes. So on the Arts Festival that we used to do biennially, we had a look at that a few years before COVID. Actually, I did a big review and had a look at it under 2 different artistic directors, 2 festivals with the Spiegel and 2 out. It used to always be midwinter.
It did.
And it used to be a monster. It used to be a 19-day. It was a marathon.
Yeah.
And I think everybody by the end of it just wished they hadn't bought tickets to the last week because they just wanted a night home.
It was a lot.
So no matter what we did and what we had on offer, we sold the same amount of tickets. It was quite fascinating.
Interesting.
So we took a punt and decided to break that festival up into 4 smaller bite sizes because all my reading and research was saying that the younger people particularly, that's how they engage with things. It's much more immediate. It's much more not like the late boomers. And there was a lot more on offer than maybe was back in 91 when the first Biennial Arts Festival was presented. So this all started before COVID, and we finally got through the presentation of the new one, the last one called Reimagine, which we never even knew what that was going to be when we had the full festival. It was the festival with no name for a long time. And that was very successful for us. We've just reviewed the full festival model finally, and it was positive. Cool. Even though the last couple were presenting quite trying times, I think the next 4 festival will be very interesting. We started that last year with Spiegel.
So what are the 4 that are in the festival?
So, well, if we start with this year, it's Right Royal Cabaret Fest, which we're about to present starting the end of next week.
Yeah.
Which is only a 4-day festival, so that's a small one. And then we go into Reimagine, which is our newest festival in October. And that's about using different spaces in town to reimagine how arts looks. And a good example is we did a morning rave on the Bowls stage. You killed me. I had to get up at 6 o'clock anymore.
Stop it.
I poured coffee. I didn't dance. I couldn't believe the amount of people that turned up in a very different demographic.
Right.
We took over by the King's Law Building, we took over a car park there and put in about 4 DJs, which again, we got a much younger demographic too. That went off. In fact, people have asked for that to come back. I can't let too much out of the bag yet about Reimagine. Yeah. We've just confirmed the program last week on Reimagine.
Oh, exciting. Yeah.
So that's how far in advance we work on our festivals. So that's it this year, Right Royal Reimagine. Next year we'll go into Winterfest, which is our more traditional arts festival with a bit more theatre, a literary program, authors, writers, that sort of thing. And then at the end of next year will be the Spiegel tent will come back.
Which, I mean, the Spiegel tent sends some incredible performers, some interesting performers.
Yes, it attracts, it's much more the burlesque comedy, cabaret.
Yeah.
You can't put theatre in there.
Not
It's just,
so
it's
much,
the acoustics and the way, even if you move in there, the floorboards squeak, and just the nature of the venue doesn't lend itself to that sort of black theatre, quiet, and, intensive, immersive sort of space. But, it's a very popular festival.
How do you decide, or how do you find out about all the talent that's around and who to put on your bills?
Okay, so my job is, as my AD, my artistic director, say, Suzanne gets the money in and we spend it.
Right.
I very much over programming and say, no, you're not going to sell 50% a house on that. You can have it, but you're only going to sell 30.
Okay.
Because I've been around so long, I just know how things sell here.
Sure.
We've had some changes over the years. Dance has become easier to sell here. And that's part of our role, was to introduce our audiences to the more edgier stuff, the more emerging stuff. But part of our role is also to just give people a good night out, a bit of escapism, some hope, and some happy time.
And that's what art's all about, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's about reflection of society and what the artists are trying to say. It's about some reflection in there, but you don't want too much of that. You need a bit of fun as well, I say.
Yeah.
So where was I going with that?
We were talking about how you decide.
So we have an artistic director on WOMAD and an artistic director over the arts festivals.
Right.
Okay. The one on WOMAD is a part-time role, and that is done in collab. So WOMAD UK, Paula Henderson's been there forever, and she very much is the spotter for the talent coming out of all of the countries around the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Generally, they will have presented, the internationals will have presented at UK before us, but not always.
Okay.
And then Adelaide's the week before us. So we work with Adelaide in the selection of the international artists, and then our artistic director selects the New Zealand artists.
So do we often get the same as what WOMAD Adelaide got?
Yeah, they're a 4-day festival with a lot more money.
Okay.
Their Monday is their state holiday.
Right.
I love the state funding over there. Gosh, it's amazing. They worked out to hold their people within South Australia for their long weekend. That they needed. It's called Mad March over there.
Okay.
And they do a fringe festival. I think they do some car racing as well. And WOMAD. Yeah. So it's all about holding their people in Adelaide and then getting some outside visitation in. So yes, generally they will have more internationals than us. So there's always a bit of a debate on which internationals we share.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. So the sharing helps with the cost of some of these groups are quite large, bring them down internationally. Airfares are expensive, but also some of these artists won't come down for one gig at WOMAD Adelaide. You need to give them a bit of a tour. So Ian, who's the head of APA who puts on WOMAD Adelaide, will generally on the bigger names, the more expensive acts, put them into Adelaide, then put them up into the Sydney Opera House, maybe Melbourne, even Perth, and then over to New Zealand for the last leg. So it gives that artist a reason to come down under.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's worked very well for a long time. And then on the arts festival side, we will, the artistic director, who's Josie Hunter,
amazing wahine.
Yeah, who has worked programmed on WOMAD actually, and worked in just about every role TAFT's ever had, and has been there nearly as long as me. She will go. She's been up to PANS, which is the Performing Arts of New Zealand, and what they do is they'll do little showcases of potential work.
Yes.
And then all of those ADs go, yep,
we'll take
that. And they all vote. And then that way, there's only, we're a small country, very under-resourced in the arts.
So what you collectively will say yes to something.
So this is more on the theatre side of things. And then seeing, the money comes from different sources for those artists. We'll say, this one's got legs. Okay, so we can't fund 100, we can fund 20. And we're going to put our money into the ones that the festivals will buy. Okay. So, and then on the other thing is they talk a lot. They'll often go to each other's festivals to see acts. And the other thing is we try not to program something that either one of us hasn't seen or somebody we trust hasn't seen.
Okay.
Josie just went to the Adelaide Fringe actually in March. We pick a lot up out of the Adelaide Fringe.
Yep, for the
for arts festivals. All of them really. And then often we may get approached by somebody who's bringing something down and doing a tour. They're not that often actually. But so it's quite a lot of work in
it is a lot of work.
Trying to find the right combination of acts.
Yeah.
So that there's something for everybody not something for everybody. It's not what we try and do, but
yeah.
we don't have all the same.
Yeah. So when you talked about with WOMAD being over their public holiday, because WOMAD's always traditionally held the weekend after Taranaki anniversary. What's the reasoning for not doing it on anniversary weekend?
We can't, because that's Adelaide's weekend and they can't move.
That makes sense. Yeah. Straight up answer.
That's been that from the get-go.
Right, yeah.
We don't. It probably would work very well for us if we could. The other thing I've learned over the years, we have tried to do things on different weekends, like Right Royal Cabaret Fest came around about because the first one we ever did was on a Queen's birthday.
That's right, yeah. Hence the title.
Yeah. And long weekends don't work well here for us and selling stuff.
People go away more?
Yeah, we don't know. And even over Garden Festival, not in my time, but before my time, they had a couple of years where they did it over the Labour weekend period. Yeah. It's just a no-go for us. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, right. But WOMAD could have been the one that it would have worked, but we just don't have a choice there.
Right, there you go. There's the answer there.
Because Adelaide's hemmed in by a whole lot of other things. Yeah.
When it comes to, like, you put on some massive events, but WOMAD's probably the biggest infrastructure because you take the beautiful Pukekura Park, Bowl of Brooklands, which is a blank canvas, and you turn it into this incredible festival. Like, there is no other feeling than the feeling of walking into WOMAD and you feel like you're in a whole nother country, a whole nother world. I love it. Makes me emotional thinking about it. It's one of my favourite times. So talk us through the setup of WOMAD. That must be huge.
It's... In many ways, the Garden Festival is my favourite festival because I don't have to manage or look after a venue.
Right, yeah.
The gardeners do that for me. 50 venues, the gardeners look after them so beautifully. So WOMAD is a huge amount of work. You literally build a town for a weekend and then pack it out again. We are lucky that we do have one big stage in situ there, but it's a massive pack-in. It's operationally seamless, I can say this now. We've been at it a long time, but we have long-term relationships with contractors who understand that park and the quirks. It's not an easy venue, by the way, for a number of reasons. It's constrained in certain areas. It's hilly. When we took it over, it had we've upgraded the power supplies in there.
Yeah, because it wasn't even being...
It's all this stuff like underboring so that we don't do portaloos. Every toilet there flushes.
Yes.
So that's all been at a cost and an investment in the venue from WOMAD's point of view. And this is the great thing about a charitable trust. We are not for profit, which means we are not for loss.
Yes.
But we also just don't take the money and run. It's often invested back into more festivals, more arts, and often infrastructure.
Sure, yeah.
So that pack-in starts nearly... we take it over just before the long weekend.
Yes.
And we go right through until... So that's nearly 10 days. And then when pack-out normally this is all weather dependent, by the way. We don't have a choice on pack-in. We just have to make it work. The gates open at 4 o'clock on the Friday. If I need an extra labourer and we just bring extra labourer and we've got to get the gates open. Pack out, we've got we've got a contract that says we have to get out of the venue by a certain point. But we know for some reason we often get wet pack outs and we don't want to put heavy vehicle movement over the grass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're very careful with that venue. We reinstate if we've had to relay grass and all of that sort of stuff.
Because by the time you go back into the park the following week, it's like nothing was even ever there. Yeah. It's incredible.
It's a hugely resilient venue, actually, because, as you know, this year we went in straight off the back of Tamatatini, who'd had a very hot and dry festival, which was preferable for us rather than a muddy one.
Muddy, yeah.
And couldn't believe how quickly, because we had attended 10, nearly 2 weeks from the time they packed out. They literally packed out. We stood down an extra day and let them get out because they finished on the Sunday. We would have started packing on the Monday. We said, no,
you finish.
We worked together.
You're literally like...
You guys, you finish up what you've got to do and we'll start the pack-in on the Tuesday. There were still bits and pieces going on their side, but it worked very well. And we were worried that the venue... And there were places where they'd had their big marquees and stuff, but we got a bit of rain. And just how quickly that park came back up is quite amazing, really. But that also goes down to a real commitment from the parks team and the venues team then to help us. They worked very closely with both events to make sure that Because part of our presentation is that venue is unique and it's beautiful.
Yes, and that's why it makes it so incredible.
Yeah. But I can't really explain the pack-in to you. You've actually got to be there to see it. Yeah. It's a beast. There's trucks, and then, we let the traders in, then there's a frenzy of, 60 odd, it's more than 60, all trying to get set up, power connected. It's just requires a lot of problem solving.
Yes.
A lot of pre-planning, right down, and the secret of a good festival is in the detail.
Do you get to stop and enjoy any of WOMAD?
I don't know.
No, because you're busy the whole time.
I do enjoy the arts festivals.
Yes.
Spiegel's a bit different. Sometimes I've been known to be crawling under the Spiegel tent at a certain time.
Doing what, Suzanne?
Lighting gas when it was in the winter months, and blowing my face off. Laying the red carpet, because believe it or not, I know how to lay carpet. Go and ask how. And I went there and had all bumps in it, and I said, no, that's the sort of thing a woman in heels will trip over. And
good spotting.
Yeah. So it's all of that. So what I do is I actually I stay off the WOMAD site for as long as I can because I'm itching to get up there, but I wind the staff up. So I stay out until basically the Thursday. Yeah. I'll go up and do a lighting check on the Thursday night, wait for it to go dark, drive around.
The whole site.
Yeah, because we've had in the past areas that have been really dark and unsafe, I feel. And it's a big area to line, a big expense. And then I go up early on the Friday, and all I do is I have a notebook and I walk the site continually. And I look for that wrong logo on there. Yeah. So that is the mind I've got.
Everything. Yeah.
Go and check. Believe it or not, I go and check all the toilets are flushing. Yeah. All the toilets are clean.
Well, we thank you for that.
Yeah. So it's that attention to detail that's really required. And then they will have been up there so long packing in that I see stuff that they don't. And particularly, and believe you me, I'm no health and safety police, but I will see things like an uncovered waratah. And just,
fresh eyes.
Yes, basically. And then I go back with that list, and I've always got this incredible group. These two guys who are very practical, who start shifting bike rack for me and nailing things and fixing things. So, it's a very well-oiled machine and a great team. And a lot of them been there a long time and are very committed to that experience. And I always say the experience starts from the time they buy the ticket. Yeah. And that's why
excitement.
That's why I've got into trouble with Waka Kotahi a couple of times on roadworks.
Oh, yes.
With WOMAD on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. It is a thing. Yeah.
You're amping to get here and you're stuck up there, 50 minutes. Anyway, it just drives me insane. Yeah. But anyway, yes, I've had my moments there. So I try and step through everything, and that's how my brain sort of works. It's very, my Myers-Briggs says I'm not detail, but at other times when I'm working a lot of detail and I've done the Myers-Briggs, I change into a detail queen, which is the difference between a P and a J. So I change from a P to a J, which the staff hate.
Okay,
it's not like that my happy place.
Yeah.
I'm very good at it short term.
Yeah.
I love the big blue vision stuff and where we're going and how to get there rather than the eye dotting. But I've learned the eye dotting and T crossing to the nth degree.
Yeah. And because I guess it falls on
comes
you.
Back to me.
Yeah, it does.
Is there something wrong with a partner's logo?
Yeah.
I'll hear about it.
Yeah, so you may as well nip it in the butt first. Yeah. So, Suzanne, looking back, is there any particular artists or shows that have been quite legendary in TAFT's history?
There have been a number in the Arts Festival, and there have been some standouts in WOMAD, but a lot of the time I've only heard about the WOMAD one second hand. But you do always hear about them. People just love telling you about their favourite artists. I think in the Arts Festival, it's been some of the international festivals that have come in, and the one that really springs to mind for me, which I've never seen anything quite like it, and I'm going back quite a few years now, is Slava's Snow Show. Which was a Russian circus, and it was just, I can't describe it. It was just the whole thing got blasted with confetti. The clean-up after each show was absolutely horrendous.
Which venue was that at?
It was in the TSB show.
Okay.
In the big theatre. Yeah. And there were balls, and it was just the most incredible experience I've ever been through, and watching people, it was a true family show.
Right, yeah.
And then following on from that would have been the likes of Soap.
Yes, yeah.
And it is those big circusy shows that we brought in.
It's like a whole performance of acrobatics.
It's escapism for, they're normally 70 to 90 minutes, those shows. They're slick. They've toured the world. These guys make a living at it. They're masters at their performance. But there has been the smaller shows too that, bless his soul, he's now dead, but which was a hoary buzz, seeing him in the matinee going all. Yeah. And we have had him at WOMAD as well, but I was so pleased I saw him in that small venue, and it was a year we didn't do a Spiegel tent, we took the back bar of the Mayfair, as it was then, whatever it's called now, I don't know, and we turned that into the festival club, we called it. And so he had a really late night. I think it was a 10 o'clock start, and I just stood there absolutely stunned at this incredible performance. Yeah. So it's those ones. And I think it will be different depending on who you speak to.
It would. And everyone's own interest.
Yeah. But, Gary Starr just recently.
Oh, yes.
And the time before he came, getting absolutely getting butt naked.
Yes, that's what everyone talks about.
The hairiest Greek man I've ever seen.
In the Spiegel tent. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Full frontal.
Just laughing from beginning. Just the comic genius of the man. One man. We love him because he's cheap. Yeah, but he is so funny. Yeah. An hour of just completely not caring where you are in the world, just watching this guy's incredibleness.
Yeah. And so the fact of bringing him back is because you knew how good it was. He would sell tickets again.
Yes, and he's just done a new show which I made my friend in Melbourne go and see on behalf of, called Penguin. It's not about the birds, it's about the penguin books.
Oh, okay.
So it takes characters.
Oh.
So it's very, very clever. But then on the WOMAD side, I mean, the people, there's just been so many great performers there. The one that really stands out for me that was totally unexpected was the correspondent.
I wondered if you were going to say that. They were just rock stars.
People could not believe what they were watching. He was like the bendy man, like a Mr. Elastic Man. And unfortunately, the DJ, he's now dead as well. Yeah. But we've had them twice. And we picked them up because they were coming down under and touring little venues. Okay. So we only had a little bit of money left to put a punt on the correspondence, and I'll just never forget. Though Paula Henderson had seen them in London, and she'd been told, you've got to get down here and see that we can't describe this act. So, and then you get the likes of 47 Soul we brought back twice. There's been a lot over the years. That and if you speak to different people, it'll be different things.
Different tastes.
It'll be different artists.
Yeah, it would be.
But it's always that unexpected ones, and they're often not the ones that are they might not be known here, but they might be well known in world music circles. It's often not the A-listers. It's often the B and C listers.
Not the big billers.
Yeah, that are really the outstanding and unexpected performance.
Does that what can catapult them to the A-listers though? If they do,
I see one of the standout. I did manage to go and see Who Shot Scott on the Gables stage on the Saturday night. Now he's a New Zealand DJ of Iranian descent. Absolutely mind-blowing. So that was his biggest audience. He will now pick up probably the festival circuit in New Zealand and if not further.
What a good start for him.
Yeah. So what we provide often, and often people, if you think about supporting the arts, we often provide, particularly for our New Zealand artists, a platform. Many of them will have paid internationally, but a platform to play along international artists, but with quite big audiences for them.
Absolutely.
So that's the role festivals play.
Yeah, it's
very much
nurturing.
Is showcasing these people live, because you can see them all on YouTube now. But is that what it trends? Because often a great recording artist is not a good performing artist, in my experience.
Completely different. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, and sometimes they have no chat. They're not very good at chat when they're doing live performance. Yeah.
So it's quite an interesting thing when you see. I think that you'll ever take away from the live. People are going to want to engage like that. Well, I hope they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And can I say on behalf of the community, the Taranaki, the greater part of New Zealand, thank you to you and your team for what you've brought to our region. I mean, it's been a huge, not just for broadening our viewing pleasure, but also financially as well. And where would we be without TAFT? We're so grateful. So how do people get involved if they wanted to be like a patron?
Well, this is the reason TAFT has survived and the reason it is what it is. And we are the envy of nearly every other region who ring me and think I get millions off the council. Well, no, I don't. We we can test for that money alongside everybody else, and we're very grateful for that money. But there's a lot of time spent in getting money in. It's all about partnership management. It's very much my job. Is I don't delegate that. It's I don't care if you're a $3,000 partner or a $300,000 partner. The investment to me is as important that you've given kindly to us, because 3,000 from that little business might be as much as 300 from that.
And it's a nod, isn't it, that they believe in what you're doing?
It's about, there's a number of ways. So you can be a sponsor over any of the festivals, and it often there will be a natural fit for depending on what that particular organisation business is. It may be a real strong alignment with the age group that we're catering to. And so there's the sponsorship levels, and as you can imagine on WOMAD, they're much higher. Believe me, I don't have a $300,000 one. I wish I did. And then much smaller amounts through to the Arts Festival. And we have a really wide breadth of people, and the way they get involved is they come and, talk to us. We try and leverage for them. We've got big databases of 20,000 that we can tell their story. And then if they've got databases, we're really interested in leveraging off them. So it's done. I don't have a formulaic way of going out. It's very much a discussion, and then finding out what works for them and what works for us. And then at individual level, we've got a history of good patronage here in Taranaki, where there's different levels that you can come in at: business level, family level, or individual level. And that just and for that, I host you occasionally at something nice, and you get tickets to over the 4 festivals. You choose how you want to take them. We're a very fluid organisation in our partnerships, but without the partnerships, and particularly, they are regional partnerships. This is the reason that Taranaki has done so well in the past, and long may it continue.
Absolutely.
That they've just always got together and done things.
We just punch above our own weight, don't we?
Yeah, we do. You do. Well, I mean, we've got some challenges at the moment with oil and gas and all those sorts of things. Because without oil and gas, we would never have got WOMAD.
No, big sponsorship and everything, isn't it?
Without them, it would never have happened.
No.
So as much as whatever you think about oil and gas, I'm just going to say to you, there's a lot of stuff's happened in this region that wouldn't have without them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, Suzanne, we know you're a busy wahine, so we really appreciate your time today and sharing the stories about TAFT, and we'll pop some links below if you wanted to get in touch with Suzanne, and some links to your latest festival.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for enriching our lives.
Oh, yes, that's what we do.
We'll catch you next time.
Okay.